Hello and welcome to the Dominion Daily for December 21st, 2025. We've got campaign features today since it's Sunday. Enlarge has with spoils, and each player starts with 3 horses and 7 copper. Whoa. All right. I don't remember that coming up before. So let's see. We've got shelters, but we don't actually have shelters. Wait, what? So we would have shelters if it weren't for the fact that we have the horses instead, I guess, because there's enough Dark Ages cards. Okay. So what are we doing here? Enlarge comes with the spoils, and you can enlarge fortresses and trails, so that looks pretty relevant. Enlarge is also the only trashing. Okay. For plus actions, we've got Fortress, we've got Ironmonger, and then like Forum Trail, Ironmonger Trail. Enlarge Trail isn't per se plus actions, but it makes Enlarge non-terminal. Actually, enlarging a trail from the duration effect is plus actions. For draw, the trail stuff again is so like Ironmonger revealing trail, Forum discarding trail is draw. Enlarge trashing trail is not draw; it's just neutral. And then storyteller. And then for gains, we've got Merchant Guild and Enlarge. Forum returns your buy. Armory, which with Canal can gain 5s, although for the most part, I think it being able to gain 4s is pretty much good enough. So let's see. Enlarge to get rid of coppers is going to be admittedly pretty annoying. Even with Canal, all you can do is turn it into like Silver or Scheme, which is not that exciting. So that's going to be the big limitation here, I think, and probably a reason to play with some storytellers, even if just to like cycle the coppers. I mean, maybe you'd want storyteller anyway. It's a little hard for me to say off the top how important that is with the trail stuff. But anyway, Armory does look like a good card. I could see the argument for going for that first relative to Enlarge. And we could just buy Armory and then like not play this horse, then play horses next turn and try to draw into it. Or we could go for the Enlarge and just figure whatever, we trash a copper into an estate and then we trash the estate into a 4 or something. Nice thing about going for the Armory is that the next turn, if we have saved the horses, we might conceivably hit 7 for Canal. And immediately, I mean, the first Armory play would gain a 4, but then immediately we've got like the Canal bonus ready for the Enlarge. An Armory can gain an Enlarge as well. I think I like that. Yeah, we're just drawing deck here. I hadn't even done the math on this, but yeah, I guess, I was thinking about this relative to, like when you get like Stampede or something, but then you still have the estates in your deck potentially. All right, so we probably want... We are going to want plus actions, though we can play both Enlarge and Armory. But top decking a fortress isn't that likely to... we're still going to have the 7 coppers to draw through. If we play an Ironmonger... Or so far, we gain a... Well, there's no way that we're going to Armory 4 Enlarge and play it next turn, I guess, regardless. So I think we take Ironmonger now. Canal. And we could take a Storyteller already. And an Enlarge. Top deck the Storyteller just to sift through the copper. That seems reasonable. Ooh, look at the spoils. Do we want to draw that many cards? So this turn we're going to Armory for Trail, because that's the only way that we're going to like have something that we can enlarge. Or sorry, that we can play both Armory and Enlarge. Oh wait, I was thinking I could play all 4 of these, but I cannot. So yeah, I think we just do that. Oh wait, no, that is still too much draw. Yeah, we overdrew by 1. I don't think it matters. Yeah, I don't really see a better line than this. And I think we do just enlarge copper to scheme. And then we should probably take a fortress. Just so we have like a reliable source of plus actions. Well, we could get another enlarge here. Seems pretty good. Discard the trail. So we would potentially want to enlarge the trail, but we can also enlarge the fortress. I think this is fine to do that. It gives us plus actions right now. That last card is the enlarge, right? So get the trail, enlarge fortress into... We can draw whatever it is we're enlarging into. If we take another enlarge, then we get a spoils, which we might draw, which I don't really want. So maybe Merchant Guild. Seems reasonable anyway. And we probably want another Storyteller. And then what's better, Ironmonger or Fortress? It's a little hard to say. We are going to need more plus actions, but we potentially get that from like Enlarged Trail or Ironmonger discarding Trail or things like that. And the Ironmonger has the advantage that if we do get like, it will lower the odds that we trip on a copper. On the other hand, having a second, like we have 2 trails and a fortress, having a 4th card that the enlarge is like very happy to trash. Also has value. I think I'm going to go with the fortress. Oh, wait, we have scheme. Hold on. Never mind. We don't need to do that. I forgot that we had gained scheme. Now the question is, do we top deck trail or fortress? I think trail is actually better to enlarge than fortress. Okay. I think I want another enlarge. Would like to enlarge this fortress, but also like, well, I guess we can spend our coffers on the storyteller draw. We already draw 3. If we play Merchant Guild Storyteller, I guess we can also, yeah, and we do have another storyteller. I think, yeah, I think I'm gonna just. Wow, that is really low res. Okay. Let's go ahead and that's the enlarge. Does it matter when we trigger the shuffle here? What are we gonna enlarge into? Like possibly just another Merchant Guild? I'm gonna say we worry for trail first. And then okay, I'm fine with that top decked. And we enlarge trail to Merchant Guild. We should enlarge Fortress. Well, we could enlarge into another scheme. The advantage of that is if we're going to play with multiple enlarges, it would be good to top deck like double trail or something. Yeah, let's do that. I mean, we can't take another stop card now anyway. Yeah, obviously it was only a 50-50 to actually draw the scheme, but, you know, worth going for, and it worked out. Now what? I would like to get another enlarge, but I think we can get that next turn off of the like the duration enlarges. So, I don't really feel like we need another storyteller. I wouldn't mind another fortress. I feel like getting another merchant guild. Like that also probably makes more sense to take off the enlarge. We could just go like Fortress Ironmonger, I guess. I think so. Top deck trail, top deck trail. Okay, so I'm going to take one more enlarge and one more merchant guild. Guess we can leave that. Would have liked to hit a little bit more copper here. There we go. We still have another fortress, so we can just play this one. Guess we'll spend this coin. Armory for another. We probably want another merchant guild. Probably just armory for another trail. Yeah, enlarge fortress to merchant guild. And we do have another enlarge in our discard pile, so it'd be nice to hang on to this fortress. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, well, I'm counting this wrong. We have 7 cards to draw through. We have seen both of our schemes. I think that's all of our ironmongers. We do have one more trail down there. Oh, so we could potentially enlarge the trail instead. Okay, then I will play the fortress. And I think we want to draw with all of this. Do we need to draw with more? Do we need to spend any coffers to get 6 cards? Maybe we spend 1. Yeah. Maybe we're not taking a merchant guild here just because we aren't going to get to gain and play it anyway. Maybe we should take one more storyteller. Could also just take another ironmonger. Piles are getting a little low. The bot does not have any merchant guilds, though. It has 3 enlarges, and that's it for gains. So it's not really threatening to do very much. It also doesn't have any storytellers, so its draw is pretty limited. Only has the 1 trail, no fortresses. I don't really know what the bot is doing, to be honest. Anyway, Ironmonger with Storyteller can also produce draw, but of course it's unreliable. Let's just take a 3rd Storyteller. That should be fine. Okay. But we could take a couple more Ironmongers here. And, I mean, we could just take all the Ironmongers. Again, I don't really think there's any way the bot piles off of that. And maybe we can threaten a pile out. We'll also get a bunch of coffers, which would be good. If we spend 2 coffers on a scheme, we more than get them back, so we might as well do that. But I don't want to take a copper. We should... Wow, okay, the bot just doesn't care about lowering piles at all. We should trivially be able to win now. Just take the last 2 enlarges. Trail to enlarge. Trail to enlarge. Storyteller. We should not need to spend coffers here. Like, it's hard to imagine what we could draw that's so bad. On the other hand, like, we have a lot more coffers than we need, so maybe we should anyway. Just spend a couple. Okay. Is there anything more useful to do with this armory than just gain another trail? I mean, it can gain an estate, but then it's on top of our deck, so I'm just going to gain the trail. We could potentially pile on trails, too. In some ways, that's actually easier. Yeah, why not? Okay. 6 cards. Let's just do that. And now can enlarge fortress into trail. Enlarge, I guess, fortress into distant lands. We definitely overdrew earlier with the coffers thing, but whatever. And province, 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 estate. 8 turns. I mean, starting with the horses in the deck definitely makes a big difference for that. And the turn 2 canal. But the bot just didn't, like, play with enough of the kingdom, I feel like. It did eventually take some trails, but it never got canal, it never got storyteller, it never got merchant guild, it never even got scheme. I guess, granted, because the bot never got canal, that's probably why it didn't get scheme, like, because it wasn't able to enlarge copper into scheme. But yeah, pretty uninspired play from the bot, I would say. I guess I'm not super surprised. The bot is generally good with cards like enlarge, but I haven't necessarily seen it be as good with, like, the combination of, like, that with cost reduction and what that enables. And I've also seen it not, like, this is not the first time that I've seen it kind of not care that much about, like, trail or fortress kind of interactions. Yeah, I think the bot's plan was just to, like, do the, like, sort of old turbo remodel strategy of, like, copper to estate to a 4, and that's just a lot slower than what you can potentially do here, especially when you account for the interaction of like, okay, Canal lets you turn copper into scheme lets you top deck trail, then you can enlarge the trails. Like just trying to enlarge all of your coppers is just a waste of time, I think. How many coppers did I have left at the end? 5. Yeah, the bot had 2, so that kind of speaks to it. It's just like getting a couple storytellers to draw through the coppers, I think, is a lot better than like spending your enlarge plays on copper. Is just not that impactful, especially if you don't have Canal. But yeah, pretty cool kingdom. I think, you know, it's fast enough that I think you could. It's one of those kingdoms I could see like easily like losing against like a human opponent, not necessarily based on poor play, but just based on like you have very little margin for error. So like my turn 2, where is it? Like if I had not seen my last horse and had, I mean, I guess it would still have been possible for me to hit 7 if I just didn't draw the like armory and the horse were bottom decked, which I guess would have been fine. But it would have also been possible to bottom deck like horse copper and not hit 7, and then actually no, because then the armory could gain a trail. Maybe I was guaranteed to hit 7 with. If so, that's actually crazy. I need to think about this. So, I mean, we drew this horse, that third horse immediately, but we knew we had 2 horses on top plus the 3 coppers. And then the next 4 cards we drew were copper horse, copper, copper. And then finally we drew copper armory. If we draw the other copper, then that's 7 right there. If we draw the armory, yeah, I think I didn't actually realize I was guaranteed to hit 7. Of course, you aren't guaranteed to have the 4-3 opening. If you have a 3-4 opening, I mean, obviously you could just choose to turn 1 Canal if you wanted to do that. So, I mean, I guess you are guaranteed to be able to get an early Canal if you want it, is a way to put it. But I didn't actually realize that I was guaranteed to get Canal. I was just like, oh, I should be able to get Canal, right? So, yeah. So actually, maybe that's not as subject to variance as I thought. Because then once you have that, you can start doing most of the other stuff. Well, anyway, like I said, it's a pretty cool board. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.